are you guys? It's Clearski, I'm back. That's right, and I'm creeping around Northwest Portland today. I'm on the beautiful Northwest 21st, which is a iconic filming location for the 1989 Drugstore Cowboy by Gus Van Sant. That's right, it was filmed right here in Portland, and I'm standing right behind one of the iconic backdrops to the movie. And if you guys can see, Nob Hill Pharmacy, but today it's actually a kind of a grill, tavern, restaurant-ish place, but they've kept some of the original remnants from the movie, and some of the iconic things from the movie still stand here. So let's creep over here and check it out. I'm going to show you guys some still frames from the actual movie Drugstore Cowboy, and I'm going to show you guys some things that are still standing here, which I thought was incredibly cool. And after this video, if you guys haven't gone back and checked out some of my previous vlogs, the director who directed Drugstore Cowboy is actually a part of some of the vlogs that I've done previously for John Callahan and him were friends. So go back, check out some of my other filming locations, and there's also some other tie-ins to the director Gus Van Sant on my blog. So you guys can hit that lights up now. If you haven't, you can hit that little bell. That way when I creep, you guys will be the first to creep. Well, let's go across the street and check out some of the remnants from the 1989 movie Drugstore Cowboy, starring Matt Dillon and Heather Graham, just to name a few. But if you guys can see, the sign up top here right on Gleason Street still reads pharmacy, which is kind of cool that they kept the original pharmacy style, even though it is a tavern now. And all the beautiful trees and whatnot that surround this area. But let's go across the street here and check it out, and then I'll also show you guys some screenshots from the original movie itself. But I really appreciate you guys creeping with me as always. And right from the get-go, I see something that was really familiar right from the get-go, and that is one of these Benson bubblers here, which stands right on the corner, and in fact was used in the movie itself. Matt Dillon's character actually comes walking down the sidewalk here, which you guys can see some of these. Actually, these windows are the original layout. I don't know if they're the exact windows, but the layout of the building still consists really similar to the movie. But Matt Dillon's character basically starts right about here at this second pillar, and if you guys can see here, if the glare isn't too bad, his character walks down the street here, which this would have been the pillar right here from the shot, and he continues to walk down the street here. He actually compliments a lady's hat. He says, "Nice hat." And then he makes his way towards the pharmacy, kind of glancing at it, checking it out, casing the joint, if you will. And then Matt's character actually kneels down, if you guys can see here, and takes a sip right out of here, which I'm going to do right now just to kind of, that's refreshing, just kind of recreate that scene. And you guys can see in the screenshot here, and if you watch the movie, that this tree and this pole still coincides right here with this Benson bubbler. But if you guys pan up here to the sign, at one point right up top here above the pharmacy sign was a iconic drug sign, which was in the movie as well. If you guys can see here, would have rested right up top here. But that is super cool to me that they chose this area. I mean, Gus Van Sant, being from Portland, always picks some of the best locations, I believe. But if you guys can see here too, they still have the Nob Hill Pharmacy up top, which is really cool. So then at one point, Matt Dillon's character, Heather Graham, and a couple other people in the crew make their way right in through this door into the pharmacy, which was the pharmacy then. And in fact, this place was an actual pharmacy in Portland for many years, and I'm not sure exactly when it changed hands into a restaurant, but they entered the building one at a time, and Heather's character proceeds to look at the comic books and draws attention to herself by faking a seizure or some sort of medical emergency, which then triggers the pharmacist to obviously come over the counter and figure out as to why she's shaking unpredictably and stuff like that. So if you see here is an actual shot of the pharmacist concerned as to what her character was up to. And in the meantime, while they were drawing distractions to the characters of the pharmacists, Matt Dillon's character jumps over the counter with a crowbar tucked in between his arm and proceeds to rob the pharmacy. And if you guys can see here, if the glare's not too bad, Matt's character's inching down behind the counter. And here's another little shot, which isn't very good because of the glare. I apologize. But he's got his crew with him, kind of watching his back. And he breaks into the cabinet here, which was behind the counter, to obtain the pills and the drugs that they were looking for. The pharmacist runs over to Heather's character, and she decides that she just wants to get up at this point and bounce. And at that point, Matt's character had already made a clean break from the back end of the pharmacy, which I believe would have been shot down this angle because there's really no backside where there would have been a door in the back here. So the characters were inside the building. Matt's character ran out this door, and when Heather and them realized that everything went well, their characters proceeded to walk down Gleason here to 20th. Well, we're on 21st, so they would have gone down to 20th. And if you guys look really closely as you're going down the street here, you can actually see where the Cadillac that they used during the heist was parked. And in fact, you can see screenshots of the Cadillac Eldorado driving away quickly, hence the Getaway. And Matt Dillon's character tells them, "Hurry up, I told you to walk, not crawl," which is kind of a saying, you've got to crawl before you learn to walk. So everything's kind of tied into how Matt's character is basically the leader at this point, and they're on a search for very strong opiates because they are strung out at this point. And if you guys look closely, as the Cadillac speeds away, which was parked right along here with this fire hydrant here and the yellow line still marking where the Eldorado was parked, you can see that it's still, to this day, right here. So the shot would have been back just a little bit farther, right here. And then if you pull the camera away, the fire hydrant's a little bit different color. But if you look really closely in the second shot, when the Cadillac is making its getaway, you can see up the street just a ways, right here where my thumb is, would have been the back side of those steps, which you can still see has the white painting right there. And so Matt's character and them drive away after they rob the pharmacy, and Matt is so strung out at that point he decides to just use in the car on the way home and has a crazy high, which the movie, even when I watch it to this day, is just kind of eerie because of the fact that the opiate epidemic is so huge here in Portland. And even back in the 70s, 80s, even early 90s, was still the opiate usage and drug usage was huge here in Portland. So it's definitely an epidemic. It's something that's not funny. If you are or know someone that is struggling from addiction or any kind of thing like that, there is help, and I'll definitely leave links to that in the description. But I wanted to take you guys up here today to one of my favorite Gus Van Sant movies, not only because it's filmed here in Portland, but just the iconic shots that still exist today remind me of how beautiful Portland is and the tie into the different movie locations and everything. And in the last like 5-10 years, Portland has really succeeded in the film industry here and filming locations. So I thought that was really cool that it was filmed just right here. And so we're going to give you guys one more shot from this side of the iconic Nob Hill Pharmacy, located right here in Northwest Portland. The filming location for the 1989 Gus Van Sant Drugstore Cowboy. And with that being said, I really appreciate you guys tuning in as always. And you guys can hit that like button. You can send some new creepers over to the channel. That way, when I creep, you guys will be the first to creep. And you can also get a hold of me in the comments if you haven't received a creeper shirt yet. Got some stickers left as well. So I love you guys. Thanks as always for tuning in. One more time from the Nob Hill Pharmacy. This is Creeper. I love you guys. And I'm out for now. Peace.